Hello everyone and welcome back to Football Manager 2019 and the last part in this season of our Newcastle United series. Now when we left off last time we had managed to beat Arsenal at home, having beaten Dortmund 4-0 as well. Muto with a hat-trick in that game. He also got the winner against Arsenal as we managed to finish in 5th place, level on points with 3rd and 4th, but worse goal difference means that we have missed out on Champions League football through the league. Now interestingly, Liverpool also sacked Jurgen Klopp for this 3rd place finish, which I think is a bit harsh given he was only 9 points off the title. That's just 3 of these defeats becoming victories, and they'd have been level with City, so I think that's quite harsh. But he has been sacked, and ultimately I won Manager of the Year that season, despite finishing a couple of places below him. But this is really a bit of a sucker punch, missing out on the Champions League. It means there's a lot of pressure on this Europa League final at or in the home dressing room against Leipzig. We're in Gdansk, which somebody did correct me is in Poland, not in the Ukraine. I did know that. I don't know why I said the Ukraine. But we're in the Europa League final. It's a huge chance for us to do really, really well. And if we look at our history of competitions, you can see we won this competition in 1969. We've only ever had that one final in Europe. This is only our 2nd ever final, and it was 1969 the last time, 51 years ago at this point in the game. And we are going out there today and trying to win a 2nd Europa League title and get that Champions League football for next season. So it's a huge, huge game, and controversially I have dropped Muto, who scored 4 in his last 2 massive games, for this match and put Gabriel Barbosa up top. I can bring Muto on if I need to, but I think I need Barbosa. I think he's going to get 25 goals today. We've got Coman, Almiron and Mata in the backup positions for Barbosa, with Hayden and Key the defensive midfielders. Then it's Masuaku, Hendricks, Chambers and Yedlin. Dubravka is in goal. This is the thing, I really want to make some more changes now. The amount of tinkering that I've done to try and figure out this lineup today. And I think I'm going to make some last minute changes. I'm going to move Hendricks up for Key, who hasn't impressed me too much lately. Bring Lascelles back into the team. I'm also going to take out Dubravka and bring Woodman in again. And I think that's how I want to play this. Now, we do have Marin on the bench. He's only got 70% fitness. He is in emergency only going to make an appearance today. But if we're struggling, I can bring on Muto up top, move Mata into the middle, Coman to the right, Marin on the left. That will throw their defensive line a little bit. And so long as it's quite tight by that point, I think that'll be enough for us to overturn any deficit that we might be suffering. But we're just going to get in there. I've clicked the go button while I'm not really thinking about it, so I don't overthink it too much. But you can see they've got Timo Werner and Emil Forsberg up top. They are going to be really difficult players. Bruma's a good player. Sabitza's a good player. It's a dangerous attack. Campbell and Lucas Silva as well will do a great job in midfield. Their defence, they've got Upamecano, who is a very, very good centre-back. Orban's pretty good as well. It's a very strong team. Mvogo I don't know too well, but I think they've got some strength in depth. And we are going to need to be at our absolute best if we're going to get the win tonight and lift this trophy. You can see the managers leading out the players there, lining up with the Europa League tune in the background, a little pre-match huddle, and then we are getting into the Europa League final in Poland. Can we get the victory and qualify for the Champions League? Our entire season comes down to this game as to whether it is a success or a failure. Now, I want to see high possession stats right off the bat, and at the moment it's Leipzig dominating the game with 60% possession. We've managed to square it out now, but we haven't had a shot yet. This is very unlike us. And now Mata's got a free kick. He puts it in. He's going for the far side, and Mvogo makes a save. Lascelles gets there, pulls it back, but it is cleared away, and Mata can't control it with the header. But that was a proper good scramble there. We nearly managed to get the lead. Now Masuaku with the corner. We're turning it on to the back stick for Hendricks. It's cleared away by the defender, and now Sirachi on the attack plays it forward for Jeffrey Brumer. He's got the pace on our defence, I know that, and he's got Timo Werner arriving, I think. It's back for Werner, and we have gone a goal behind in the final. Timo Werner gives Leipzig the lead. That's his 20th goal of the season. You knew as soon as Bruma was released that he was just going to pull that defence apart. Huge gap between the centre-backs. Werner comes in between them, and then he gets that goal at the near post. And even though we'd got an extra man back at that point, the defence was all out of shape, and a player of that ability is always going to exploit you there. Now we've got to be careful with this corner as well, otherwise it will be 2-0. But there's Hendricks with the header, and on the half an hour mark we are back on level terms. It was a corner of our own that was our own undoing to begin with, but with a second corner we have managed to get the equaliser and level things out. Masuaku's whipped ball in, and Hendricks, pulling away from the goal, managed to use his neck muscles and change direction there to get that ball past the keeper towards the far post. And it's a pretty exciting game so far. We have managed to establish our dominance a little bit. That one counter-attack aside, they've had one shot on target, it's been one goal. We have been much more threatening in this half, and even their goal came from one of our attacks. So I'm not too worried at this point. I am worried about 2 centre-backs on yellow card, but I think we're going to win this game, and I think we just need to see out this next 45 minutes playing like we have been, and we will get this victory and get into the Champions League next season. And it says a lot really that we're about to win only the second trophy in about 50 years for this club, but I'm more concerned about qualifying for the Champions League than winning the trophy. And even though it's a great prize for the Europa League to make teams take it seriously, I do think that that is perhaps one of the flaws with the competition, is it just isn't as highly thought of, and I think it needs a lot more prize money to really step it up. Now I think we're at a point where we might need to make a change with 20 minutes to go, and conscious of the fact that we might have to go to extra time, I am still going to bring on Antonio Marin because he is an absolute game changer. I'm also bringing on Muto to see if he can make the difference, get that crucial goal that we need like he has in the last 2 games. Marin is already knackered, but he's only as knackered as the rest of the team. I don't think I've got a lot to lose there other than wasting a sub. But we've got 10 minutes left. We were practicing penalties and training before this game as well. So hopefully that will pay dividends if it comes to it. There's 4 minutes of added time, and it's been a pretty conservative game. There's only been 5 shots on target the entire game, and we are going to extra time. I'm going to tell the team they've been unlucky. They're reacting well to that. I'm not going to make another change just yet. I'm going to see who's tired, see who's doing well, and see who we have to bring on before I make that change. And I want to run down their fitness a little bit as well. But Hayden's got in here, big tackle, and they do get the ball away. But that's a dangerous run, just a direct attack. But now Werner's in behind, and again a counter-attack. Oh, it's a penalty. Where has that come from? That is outrageous. 43 seconds into extra time, we've given away a penalty out of nothing. Werner steps up, he finds the bottom corner, and again, it's one of our attacks that they've hit us on the counter. We've managed to give away a penalty there, which I think is ridiculous. Obviously, slide tackling in from behind in the box is always a risk, but Werner just dispatches that so coolly to the goalkeeper's left. And they've had 2 shots on target and got 2 goals. Right, Yedlin with the throw, and it's come for Emil Forsberg. Now Campbell, out to Holstenberg. Campbell again, tries to switch the flank, and Marin has intercepted it. That's what we brought him on for. He plays it forward to Muto. He's in on goal, Muto, and he's dragged it wide. And that's the issue with Muto. Maybe I should have started Muto and brought Barbosa on. That probably would have been the better way round. Here's Koeman, back to Hendricks, now Hayden. Still only 5 minutes into extra time, and Mata's given the ball away, and Chambers stops the counter, but they've won it back through Forsberg. Ball over the top. Werner is in for the hat-trick that will seal this competition for Leipzig. It's off the post, and Chambers puts it out for a corner, but we are living on the edge right now. And I think we're as likely to concede as we are to score. The next goal will obviously, I think, settle this one. I don't think there's going to be 2 goals in this extra time period. I think if we score, we go to penalties. If they score, it's obviously all over. Now, they're pretty fit still. That's the issue. I am going to make a change, though, because Mata is struggling. We're going to bring on a Josi Perez for Mata, given that he's got a knock. I mean, all 4 of these are on yellow cards as well. So let's bring Key on for Juret Hendricks, who's struggling. He might have been the goal scorer, but he is struggling for fitness. So a couple of contentious decisions there, but we need to do something with 20 minutes of football left in this game. Mata is off. We've got fresh legs in the attack and in defence midfield. I think that will hold us in good stead. Yedlin in towards Key. and there's a free kick on Campbell, and he's got a yellow card already, and the referee's come over and given him a second, and we can now go very attacking. They've made a sub as well to make up for that red card, but right before half time, in extra time, they've picked up a red card, and we can now go very attacking and see if we can exploit. They're down to 10 men in the second half of extra time. They are going to be absolutely knackered by the time this is out, and I've just brought on 2 fresh subs as well. This could be huge, but we've got to make the most of it, and we're just not at the moment. Here's Brumer with a corner in towards the middle, and the header is away. Orban out to Brumer again. He's got players in the centre. He's just drifted through everyone, but Woodman makes a really good stop there because that looked like a certain goal. And somehow we are not creating chances despite everything in our favour. Last chance here, Yedlin into a Jose Perez, and there's a tackle, and that's it. We are not in the Champions League next season. Just like that, Leipzig have got the win. That feels like an absolute robbery to me. We were by far the better team. They finished with 10 men. Maybe my tactics didn't help. Most of these shots on target came in the second half of extra time after they went down to 10 men. And I've got to take the blame for that. I think there was a lot of poor decisions by me. We should have started with Muto. Shouldn't have taken off Mata, I think, in extra time. That's an absolute sucker punch. A penalty in the 91st minute, and then they had a man sent off right before half time in extra time, and we have been beaten in the final. We get a bunch of money for finishing in the final, but it's just not enough. And it means we need to look ahead to next season, if there is a next season on the back of that, because without Champions League football, that slows our progress quite a lot. I am untouchable to the board. We're spending more than the wage budget at the moment. We've only got 38 million in the bank as well. I don't know if they're going to give me more money for next season, but I'm not really sure whether to bring this to an end and potentially think about a new series, or whether to carry this on and see if we can get into the Champions League next season. Because that is a disappointing finish this season. We did win our first big trophy this year. We missed out on the Champions League on goal difference and lost in extra time of the Europa League final. You can see our top goal scorer was Barbosa. We need a better striker. 24 goals across 60 or 56 appearances is not good enough when we're creating as many chances as we are in this season. Antonio Marin was fantastic. He's an absolutely sensational player at 19, and he is only going to get better. He's going to get a lot more goals. Mata was unbelievable as well for the team. 32 years old, still worth 40 million, and we got him on a free. Muto is up there as well. Very, very solid backup player. He did well this season, not getting too many goals, but a good goal contribution as a backup striker. And Kingsley Coman, who's been injured so much this season, will only get better as well. He's had a good time, not so much in the league, but in the other competitions certainly. Hendricks was a good sign-in as well. Defensive midfielder, playing defence or central midfield. 16 million, I think, was an absolute snip for him. How much is he worth now, Jorrit Hendricks? He's up to 27.5 million as well. Tonali, another big player, 19.5 million. Some excellent signings that we've made in this series so far, and I think there could be more to come. I think there needs to be some wholesale changes if we're going to go for the Champions League and the Premier League title next season, which would have to be the goal. We need a lot of money. We need to sell a lot of players and bring some very good players in, because we don't have much outside of our starting 11. I think we probably have about 4 or 5 players outside of this first 11. You know, you've got Haps and Masuaku who are good in their position. Manquillo's decent, filling in for Yedlin, but outside of that, there's not a lot of players here that I would keep. Tonali and Marin obviously would be in the first team. Hayden, backup player, he shouldn't be in the first team as much as he is. And I think that's the issue. There is not a lot of talent in the backup. We need to strengthen. These players need to become the backup, really. We need some proper first team players, but we need a big budget to do that. So I'm not sure whether to carry on this series or not. Let me know if you would like this series to continue. Drop a like on the video if you would like to see that as well. And make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Use the comments to let me know what you think. But until next time, see ya.